Hey Panthers, we are going to focus on the cube method that I've been telling you about for some time now. How many of you sometimes look at story problems and just kind of want to shut down? There's too many words, you're not sure what to do. I bet that's a lot of us. And so the cube method is available for us to help us through this process. So we're going to work through some problems together. We're going to start with some addition and subtraction problems, and then I'll do 4 of them with you in the video, and then you will have 2 to try on your own, and then I'll do 4 multiplication division ones, and then you'll have 2 to do on your own. And again, the idea here is that the next time you come to a story problem, you have a method to work through it, not to give up and write anything down, but there's some things that we can do to at least try to get through the story problem. And it's called the cube method. And by now, you should have in your data notebook glued in your cube method picture so you understand what each letter stands for. Remembering that C stands for circling the numbers. These are important numbers that you find within the story problem. U stands for underlining important words. These are the words that may indicate that we should be adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. They are also words that we should be underlining would include our units. So when you look at story problems and it says how many blank, that word should be underlined and that should be included in your answer. B stands for boxing the question. After you've read the story problem, go back, reread the question a couple of times so you understand what you're supposed to be answering. Make sure you box the question. And E stands for eliminating any unnecessary information. Often when we read story problems, sometimes they throw in information there or numbers that are not necessary for us to solve the problem. So we need to be able to tell the difference between the important numbers and information and the other stuff that's just stuffed in there to kind of see if we understand. So have the basic addition and subtraction word problem sheet in front of you. I'm going to go through this with you and walk you through how to do the cube method. So you need a pencil in front of you. And let's begin. If we take a look at number 1, we're going to read it together. There are 30 people at the beach today. 25 of them are swimming in the water while the rest are sunbathing on the sand. 6 of them are wearing sunglasses. How many people are on the sand? So one thing, stop, let's reread the question. How many people are on the sand? So we're trying to figure out how many people are on the sand. So let's go back through the question. It starts by telling us that there are 30 people at the beach. I'm guessing that this 30 is an important number because it's telling us how many people we're talking about in total. So circle 20. It says 25 of them are swimming in the water. I'm going to circle 25 because I feel like that is important for us to know to solve this problem, while the rest are sunbathing on the beach. And then we have this number 6. It says 6 of them are wearing sunglasses. I want you to ask yourself, do you think that number is important in determining how many people are on the sand? I don't think it is. So that would be something that I would cross off. That would be the E, eliminating information, and we cross that out. So we've circled 2 numbers here that I feel are important for answering the question, how many people are on the sand. U stands for underlining any words that tell us what operation to perform, or also when we go to the question, whatever comes after how many people are our units. So that is going to end up being in our final answer. Panthers, I've been prepping you and telling you when we do story problems starting next week, units are going to have to be mandatory within your answers. If you solve a problem and don't put units down, we are going to start marking them wrong. And of course, you can do a correction and tell me how important units are. Can you see any other words up here that would indicate for adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? And the people at the beach, 25 of them are swimming in the water. The rest are sunbathing on the sand. This word rest is the rest kind of tells me that we're kind of comparing two quantities. Often when you're comparing two quantities or trying to find the difference between the two, there's that word difference. It indicates kind of to subtract. So I'm going to underline that. We've boxed the question and eliminated unnecessary information. So to me, I think that this is a subtraction problem. So if we go back up, the numbers that I circled, we started with 30 people at the beach. 25 of them left the beach and went into the water. Okay, and so we're trying to figure out what is left over. Who is not in the water? Of the 30 people at the beach, if 25 people are in the water, what does that mean? Who's left over? Obviously, you can see the answer would be 5. And there's your answer. Take a look at number 2. Let's read it together. There were 43 magazines and 29 pencils on a bookshelf this morning. Some students came and borrowed 7 of the magazines. How many magazines are left? I'm going to start by boxing my question because there's no use answering it unless I know what I'm solving here for. I'm trying to figure out how many magazines are left. Let's go back up into the question. Do you see any important numbers? There were 43 magazines. Obviously, if we're talking about magazines, that would be important. And 29 pencils on a bookshelf. 29 pencils, Panthers. Do you think that's necessary to know to figure out how many magazines are left? I don't think so. So I'm going to eliminate that information. I don't think that's important. Some students came and borrowed 7 of the magazines. So again, we're talking about magazines, so I'm going to circle that number. I think that is important. As far as underlining, you can see that I underline magazines because if you go back to the question, it's asking us to solve for how many magazines. So anywhere it talks about magazines in the story problem, that must be important. B, we boxed the question. E, we eliminated. The other thing we have to determine here is what operation do you think is happening? Do you see any words in here that would indicate adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? I am looking at this word borrowed. To me, borrowed means to take away. So let's go back and look at this again. How many magazines did we start with? Look at the top. There were 43 magazines to begin with. And then students came and borrowed or took away 7 of the magazines. How many are left over? Well, Panthers, 43 minus 7 is 36. So our answer is not 36. What did we underline? Look at the question. How many, what? Magazines would be our unit. Okay. Let's take a look at number 3. I think I'm going to do 3 with you, and then I'll do 3 multiplication division problems with you and have you do the other 3. So number 3, a restaurant served 39 salads yesterday. They expect to serve 8 salads today. How many salads will it serve on both days? So let's go ahead. I'm going to box the question to begin with, just so I know what my focus is. How many what? Salads will be our units, okay? So you want to get in the habit of putting those units down right after you box the question. That's a great strategy, Panthers. So we're talking about salads, so let's go back and read the problem again, and anywhere it talks about salads, let's make sure we circle those numbers. A restaurant served 39 salads yesterday, and they expect to serve, now Panthers, don't always be looking for numbers that are written in standard form. They could also be in word form, and some students get tricked by that. So again, if it takes you a couple times to reread the problem to make sense of it, by all means do that. Also, Panthers, a good strategy that we'll continue to talk about in class is when you're looking at story problems, draw a picture or some sort of representation of what you're looking at, and that always helps to get to the answer as well. So we're talked about 39 salads, 8 salads. Now, we're trying to figure out what operation to perform here. Do you see any words that would indicate that we should be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? I see one, and it actually is in our question. So I'm going to underline. Both, to me, indicates that I need to add these two values together. So the first day, or yesterday, they sold 39 salads. They expect to serve 8 more today. So when I add these together, Panthers, we get 47. And my units are 47 salads. Panthers, go ahead and circle 4, 5, and 6 on this sheet. After I get through the next 3 samples, I want you to go back and do these. What I want you to grab now, or to do now, is actually flip your paper over to the multiplication and division side, and let's do some of these together. So same thing, cube method. We're going to work our way through these. Number 1. Timothy's dresser contains 56 shirts. Each of the 7 drawers is 11 centimeters high and holds the same number of shirts. How many shirts are in each drawer? Let's start with the question. How many shirts? Ooh, there's our units. How many shirts are in each drawer? So let's go back. Anywhere it talks about shirts in here, we're going to circle those numbers. Timothy's dresser contains 56 shirts. So Panthers, this is the number that we're starting with. Each of the 7 drawers, okay, so there's 7 drawers here. Again, going back to that question, how many shirts are in each drawer? So this 7 must be important because, again, we're talking about drawers, and that pertains to our question. Each of the 7 drawers is 11 centimeters high. Panthers, do you think we need to know how high the drawer is? I don't think so. Not necessary. And holds the same number of shirts, okay? I think that's important to know, that it's the same number of shirts. So we're starting with 56 shirts, and basically we're putting the same number in each of the 7 drawers. So this word each, often we see that word each, and sometimes it means to multiply and sometimes it means to divide. In this case, I think we're looking at dividing the 56 shirts into 7 equal drawers. So 56 divided by 7 would be 8, and so our answer is 8 shirts. Take a look at number 2. The shoe rack at the front door can hold 72 pairs of shoes. Each shelf is 113 centimeters wide. 8 pairs can fit on each shelf. There's that word each again. How many shelves does the rack have? Let's start with our question. How many what? Shelves. Let's write that down for our units. Does the rack have? So let's go back. So we're talking about shoes and racks. Okay, or how many shelves does a rack have? The shoe rack at the front door can hold 72 pairs of shoes. I think that's important. Each shelf is 113 centimeters wide. Do we need to know the width of the shelf to determine how many shelves it has? I don't think that's important, so eliminate that. We do know that 8 pairs can fit on each shelf. So Panthers, once again, we have 72 pairs of shoes. We're going to distribute them evenly among, we can put 8 pairs of shoes on each shelf. So if I have 72 pairs of shoes and I put 8 pairs on each shelf, I'm going to end up finding that my answer would be 9 shelves. So if I had 9 shelves, 8 pairs of shoes on each shelf, it would show that I would have 72 shoes altogether. Number 3, Rachel wants to mail out 8 copies of a letter on special paper. Her letter is 7 pages long and contains 4 pictures. How many sheets of special paper does she need? Let's box our question. How many what? How many sheets? So let's write that down in our units, in our answer. Okay, so anywhere up here it talks about the sheets, we need to circle those numbers. Rachel wants to mail out 8 copies of a letter on special paper. So we have 8 copies of this letter. Her letter is 7 pages long, that's important, and contains 4 pictures. Is 4 pictures important? I don't think so. Okay. So, to me, do you see any words in here that would indicate we are adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? I don't really see too many other than maybe the word copy. Copy means you're adding the same thing over and over and over again. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. Okay? So we have 8 copies of this letter that is 7 pages long. So to me, this would be a multiplication problem. If she wants 8 copies of 7 pages, we end up with an answer of 56 sheets. So she will need 56 sheets in all to make 8 copies of her 7-page letter. Panthers, what I want you to do right now is to go back and finish problems 4, 5, and 6 on both sides. Remember, use your cube method. Okay? Circle the important numbers. Underline the words that are your units or the words that tell you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Box your question and eliminate any unnecessary information as needed. Thank you and have a great day.